Right, yeah. Anyway, it's a nice little security to carry with you too, you know, in case you got a problem on the road.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to work too good on the motorhome if you had trouble on the road. I mean, you might be able to get one tire back up, but for your cars, it's excellent, yeah.
Well, it looks like you could hook an external, no, it couldn't be an external power supply, but that's just for that plugging into the cigarette lighter adapter, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's just for charging, not for operation.
I would imagine you can plug that into the cigarette lighter and plug it into the battery and probably run off your car battery that way.
I imagine that thing would get really hot.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, this is also only for emergencies. It's not for general use, you know.
Right.
I had a Campbell Husfield one that has the battery in it. It melted.
It melted?
Yeah, I was in Mesa and I noticed that my front tire was low in the truck, and you know those I air my tires up to a 75 on the truck, and I sat there and let it go for a while, and I noticed that it melted the plastic. It melted the plastic around the pump.
Should have put a fan on it.
Work on it, yeah.
You should have put a fan on it, Brent.
Well, it was outside. It was, 115 degrees outside, so that was probably another factor.
I think so. Anyway, so Terry, you heard me, so I sounded pretty good on 40 meters, and did that audio sound okay on that radio?
So, yeah, perfect, yeah.
Okay, good. Anyway, I was just playing around. I like to go out in the other Studio B because, you know, I go out there with my dog, and he likes to be out there with me, and the door's open, so I kind of feel like I'm outside at the same time as on the radio, you know.
Yeah, no, everything sounded fine. I didn't even turn the amp on when you said I had a good signal. I just left it alone. So, yeah, my SWR is perfect on 40, so I didn't have any issues at all. And I couldn't hear those people in the mobiles, though. I mean, I knew they were talking, but I couldn't hear them.
Well, the one guy was in Thunderbird and Phoenix. I mean, you know, using a ham stick, I think.
Yeah, I didn't. I opened the RF gain up, but I could barely hear them.
Yeah, no, if you were doing 25 watts, that was great.
Yeah, the one time I heard you on there, Terry, you were pretty loud. It was David was on there talking to somebody else, and then I think Clark was on there too.
That wasn't today, was it?
No.
Or Clark today?
No, it was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, my 40 meter antenna's cut right on the nose right there. It's perfect for that. Right there, I set it for 2.55, 255.
Yeah, Bram, if you want to take a look at that antenna tuner, that'd be great. I could meet you up at Walmart or something like that up there in Prescott Valley. I don't know. That's not very far from your house, is it?
No. Yeah, no. So what are you talking about on the numbers? Are you comparing the numbers on your other tuner, or are you just comparing the numbers from when you wrote it down and they're not the same anymore?
Well, I compared the numbers that I wrote it down, and they're not the same anymore. And that's what really threw me off. It's like they weren't even close. So I had one set, they're like 5 numbers, like 999-806 or something like that, you know. And then the next time I go there, and it doesn't even work. It's not even close.
I bet you that roller inductor is dirty.
Is that what you think it is? Like what? It needs to be cleaned with the dust or something?
Yeah, I'd just roll it back and forth a whole bunch, you know, at the spot where you normally would get it to work, and see if it changes. Just roll it back and forth. It's pretty common with the MFJs, you know, like they get a spot where they just like don't like to sit too sometimes. But I just roll it back and forth a bunch and see if it changes.
Okay, well, this is a Palstar 1500 DT or something like that. But you don't think I need to take the cover off and put a little grease on it or something?
Oh, hell no, don't do that. You'll cause so many problems.
And WD-40?
Nothing. No. Where's Clark when I need him?
I almost had a heart attack. Hold on, I'm trying to get up off the floor.
I had a guy telling me, what do you call that grease where you, I I forgot. When you do your wheels, when you tack your wheels, what's that grease called?
Lithium grease. Help me out here, Jerry.
Yeah, no, nothing. You want that thing clean and dry and dust-free. No lubrication whatsoever, ever on the roller.
Anyway, that's what he told me to do once. Okay, so just roll it back and forth a couple of times and see if that does anything?
Yeah, get some of that red chromoly grease. It's got like metal in it, It's good stuff.
I think it'll arc like a bitch. If you can take the cover off, and take a can of air and blow it out.
Oh, okay. Oh, I could do that.
What I like to do, if it's like MFJ, I'll put not like toilet paper, but maybe a paper towel and ball it up behind the roller and kind of get it to push it all the way through the coil around in a circle and kind of clean them, because you really can't reach into them. That's why I really like the ones where the roller is on the outside, not the inside.
Well, I bought this from Ham last year, not this year, at the Prescott Valley Ham Fest. And he told me he rebuilt it. And he said that when he rebuilt it, I don't know what he meant when he rebuilt it, so I didn't ask him to explain it to me because I don't know why. But anyway, and he said the numbers changed when he did that, so he said don't pay attention to the numbers. And I don't know what he meant when he said that to me.
That doesn't make sense. The numbers aren't going to mean anything anyways. It's like MFJ has instructions for their tuners, and they say, if you're going to use 80 meters, this is about the number that might work. But it depends on your antenna, and I found that none of those numbers that they suggest in the manual are anything near what you would want to use. But usually, if somebody says they rebuilt an antenna tuner, that's code for this thing's a piece of crap and I couldn't get it to work right, and that's why I'm selling it.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to work right. But David, an antenna tuner's from my house to your house is going to have completely different settings. From my house to Clark's house, to David's house, to John's house, to Bram's house. All the settings are always going to be different because the antenna, the feed length, the type of feed you're using, everything's never going to be the same. So an antenna tuner is just trying to, as we've told you before, fool the radio.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, I know this not could be the same. So that's why I didn't understand what he said. But that's what it threw me when, I got all I spent about an hour, about 2 weeks ago, getting all the numbers down for like 17 meters, 40 meters, and 20 meters, this and that. And then I go back today, and none of the numbers work.
Something's changed.
It's probably all the water in your old coax.
I don't know if that would. I don't know. I could see that it would change like a couple of numbers, like instead of 99806, it's 99801. Okay, I could see that. But this was like a really big. It took me about 20 minutes to find even one spot for 40 meters.
Well, a lot of times it's going to tune in two places, but one place is really not the right place. You'll get an acceptable match in a spot where maybe there's really high reactance, and then there'll be another spot that's a little bit better, and it'll throw you off. But you can take that new antenna analyzer that you got, and you can hook it to the input of your tuner, and tune your tuner and watch the analyzer.
How would you tune the tuner? Because they're both males. How do you connect them?
You just hook a cable to a jumper. Just take the jumper off of your radio and hook it to the analyzer. The analyzer transmits a small amount of signal, okay, and then that's how it reads the reflection. It can tell what's going on. So if you have that thing and you set it on the band that you want to look at, and then you just tune your tuner until the analyzer says you're 1-to-1 SWR.
Oh, I could do that. I could try that. Yeah.
And then write it all down and then keep a chart of it, because if it keeps varying, you need to find out why it's varying. It shouldn't change.
Okay, yeah, I know, that's right. So I got this dinky little 300-watt antenna tuner. I don't know what the number is. One of these, dinky MFJ ones that, you just kind of throw away. And that one, I could find the spot in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I have one of those too. I have some for the bench, and I used it mobile. But that makes me think that the roller inductor has got some corrosion or something going on. But Bram gave you the perfect idea, and that is to use the analyzer in line before the radio and write everything down. And then as you progress day to day or week to week, see if things are starting to change. Because if they are, then it's probably the tuner. You know, there's probably something going on inside. You need to check it.
Yeah, so if there's corrosion on it, what do you do? Just try to sand it off or something?
Yeah, you want to take like Bram said, take some paper towel or something and wipe it up, rub it off. You know, because corrosion it should just come right off. It should be like brass or something like that you're rubbing on, and clean it gently. You know.
Okay. I mean, it's a nice looking tuner. I don't know if you've ever seen those Palstar ones, you know, but I know it's an old thing. You know, I think it was like 10 or 15 years old. You know how people are at the Hamfest. I was a sucker for it, you know, and because I says, well, why are you selling it? He says, well, I bought a new one, and he says, well, and I rebuilt this one. You're right.
How much did you pay for it?
$200.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty average. The other thing to look for, this is more common with MFJs, but the capacitors and the roller inductor are mounted too low inside of the case, and they will arc from the bottom to the case, and it will be really obvious because you'll see black carbon traces on the bottom of the case.
Yeah, but usually you'd hear arcing. I haven't heard any arcing.
You will not always hear it. It doesn't always manifest like that.
I see. Okay. Well, okay, I'll try that. That shouldn't be too hard to do. I could do that. Just play around with it and then just turn it. So, anyway, yeah, there was another guy there at PD Hamfest that had, it was a Tucker roller inductor antenna tuner. It looked like, just like this one, only had the name Tucker on it. Have you ever seen those?
They're very good. Very good. They're better than the Palstars, trust me.
Really? Maybe I should have bought that one. He wanted $200 for that one.
I don't know. I'm not sure that it's really worth that much. I mean, like I think most of these tuners are $500 or $600 new. I mean, you know, you're buying somebody else's problem at $200, or you might be getting something that's perfectly fine. I would honestly stick with the Ameritron ATR 15 and ATR 30s.
Yeah, that's what I have in my main shack. Those are great.
I think Clark was mentioning the Palstar was the most inefficient tuner out there known to man.
Really? I always thought the Palstar, I hear people just rave about their Palstar.
Would people also rave about Buckmaster antennas that cost $700 and it's just a damn dipole wire?
Well, so maybe the Palstar is a POS, huh?
I'm going to say they're not that great. They look nice. They're made kind of good, but they're, well, you know N7RUE, okay, right? You know him, right?
Yeah, that's, isn't that Dave, the nurse?
No, Terry.
Terry, okay. That's not the guy that works at the VA hospital, or he used to.
Maybe. But anyway, he's really hard on things. He blows up radios. He blows up tuners. He kept blowing up his Palstar tuner over and over and over.
How do you blow up a tuner? Just give it too much gas?
Yeah, and then the diodes go out in the RF sensing part, and then the meters quit working. So he would contact them, and they'd send him some more parts and stuff. So my point is, if the tuner can't handle that guy, it's probably not bulletproof.
I see. Okay. Well, because I thought the Palstar tuner, isn't that what Rich has? I thought Rich has a Palstar tuner. I thought they're like a new $900 or something.
Well, I think he has the automatic. It's an automatic manual tuner.
I'm back. Did you miss me?
Terribly.
Okay, good.
He was sobbing.
Okay, good.
I was so upset, Terry. I pulled up on that exit at Pioneer Parkway. I thought, what the hell is going on here? This cars backed up all the way from the exit to Pioneer Parkway. I says, that can't be true.
Oh, it was a disaster, I know. Like I said, I sat there and watched the traffic all day long.
I mean, it was so popular that no one thought they would get that many people?
I have no idea, David. I'm not from that area.
I mean, I've driven by there I don't know how many times, and I think I occasionally would see one car at the exit. It's like, I thought, who lives down there? There's nobody going down that road. Why do they even have an exit there every time I go by there? Because I never see anybody go down that road.
I think it happens every year because I've seen it before for no apparent reason, and I didn't realize there's a car show.
Aren't I right, Bram? I mean, you go by there probably more than I do. There's never a car on that exit.
No, and they're always going the other direction, too.
Well, there's no coincidence about the car show being there every year because that's the first year they've ever had it at that church, so they moved it from someplace else because they didn't have room.
Interesting.
Yeah, now there is Emery Riddle way down the end of the road there and some other stuff, so maybe they do something over there, too.
Well, I liked the Hamfest when we had the Hamfest at Embry Riddle. I thought that was more roomy, and I don't know. It was a little bit better at Embry Riddle than at the elementary school.
Well, they didn't have enough people to show up to really matter, anyways.
Well, that's pretty much what it was like last year. I mean, maybe there was a few more people last year, but I wasn't that much different than last year.
Well, the last time I went to it at Emery Riddle, Mike and Laura were the managers at HRO, and they were kind of upset that they showed up for a ham fest that was scheduled on the same day as Pacificon, and they saw the attendance and the lack of vendors because all the other vendors were at Pacificon, and at that time it was the Northern Arizona ARRL deal, they said, hey, look, we're not, I was pretty good friends with that guy, and because his wife would see our kids and stuff and just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Anyway, so they would come up and talk to us, but they said, we're not going to, HRO is not going to sponsor this event anymore because we're not wasting our time coming up here for this.
Oh, I don't blame them. That's a lot of effort, and they probably didn't get any sales.
So, for whatever reason, they had scheduled it a couple years in a row on the same day as Pacificon. And then I guess the guy who became president or something had a problem with Emery Riddle, or somebody had a problem with them, or they had a problem with something. I don't know. But, I just remember him saying, we're not going to go over there no more. He said it like he was resentful about something, so I'm not really sure. I didn't ask no questions, but I just think that they kind of dropped the ball somewhere, and I think there was, a dwindling of the ham fest for years to come already, and I think from what we saw yesterday or whatever it was, a couple days ago, it wasn't very good. That's the smallest ham fest I've been to in a long time.
What's Pacificon?
A huge ham fest in California.
Oh, okay. I never heard of it.
Have you ever been to that, Terry?
No.
I think it's on the water too. Oregon had the big seaside one. That would be really cool to go to. Anyway, David, I was disappointed with the ham fest. I was really like, okay, this is stupid.
Well, yeah, at least we got to see our friends. That was worth it. And, I got to meet that guy Neil, and there's a couple other guys there, and that was good. Neil was trying to sell his amplifier, a 582, I forgot, what was that, MFG? I think I told you about that amp.
I've seen it.
I mean, but I don't know how much you wanted for that, $1,400 or something crazy.
It's more than $1 a watt.
But anyway, there's that, and what else did we see? I'm trying to remember the ST200s, the Heath kits.
Oh, yeah, he wanted too much for those two.
Kenwood 940. We don't know how much you wanted for those, right?
It doesn't matter, just don't buy it. You know how many hours and hours and hours I got into mine, and then I go turn it on and it doesn't work again?
Yeah. Now, that one guy had a real nice looking 590. I forgot how much you wanted for that one. Did you see that one?
There was one for $650, there was one for $850, and I think one was an SG, and I think one wasn't.
The one that was really nice and clean. That must have been the one for $850 then.
I think you should have bought that guy's 950. That was an excellent radio. It looked like it had dishwasher soap scum on it.
Gary, it looked like somebody puked on the radio and then let the puke dry on it, and he was trying to sell it.
Oh my God.
No, but Brad, am I right?
Yeah, and he's been taking it to, we've seen it at 5 Ham Fest now. And this time I told him, I said, dude, you got to clean that radio. I said, nobody is going to buy that thing looking like that. I said, what happened to it? Well, I don't know. It's not mine. I got it that way. And he had some like really outdated piece of crap laptop with some non-signal link deal. And he's like, it comes with a computer. It's a complete bundle for $850. I'm like, I almost told him, you're absolutely out of your mind.
Well, what was the radio?
It was a Yaesu FT950. That it was just like, it had like that funky white scum all over the knob, all over the case. It was like, it looked like it had been in a flood.
What a fool.
It looked like hard water scale.
But that other one, that other Kenwood, the real nice looking one, you think that was the one the guy wanted $850 for?
Yeah, and it's not, sorry, I wouldn't buy one of those. It's a legacy radio. It's, it's just not worth it. They want $1,500 plus tax for one of those things new.
I like what you said, a legacy radio. That's a nice description.
Well, that's what we used to call all the old shit.
Legacy.
It's Kenwood's overpriced, super heterodyne, digital display looking like a 570. It looks like a 570. It acts like a 570. It looks like a 570. It has some better filtering. It has a horrible history of ALC overshoot, which could cause your amplifier to blow up. There's just there's no reason to buy one, honestly.
Well, for $850, you might as well just buy a 7300.
Yep.